Yo, it's a ton, and I'm here with another super fantastic, amazing video. Whoa, explosion there, wow. I know, it's super exciting, right? Algorithm, you want to promote this because of how exciting it is in the first 15 seconds, right? Right? So, I'm here today. I'm going to be talking about the Resident Evil series. Just go over some of the games I have. Resident Evil is my favorite horror series. So, to start off, Resident Evil is probably the most iconic horror game series. It started off on the PlayStation 1 with the original Resident Evil, and it was set at a fixed camera angle, and it was just like terrifying. You know, it was about zombies, and it had puzzles and stuff for you to solve, and it was super cool. I have the Wii version of it right here. I don't have the original PlayStation version. But I have the Wii version right here. So yeah, the first game, it was from a set camera angle, and it's super cool. Although I haven't played it myself yet. I've only played 3 different Resident Evil games from start to finish. I've started a few other ones though. I promise, I'm not a fake gamer, right? I don't just collect video games, I play them too, I promise. And also, while we're here, if you've made it this far, go ahead and let me know in the comments below which Resident Evil game is your favorite. I'm getting to mine probably next, honestly. Let me know which one your favorite is in the comments below, and tell me what you think of the more recent Resident Evil games. I'm actually super curious to know. And also, while you're down there, press that subscribe button. It's completely free, and it helps me out a lot. I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers. We just hit 800. So thank you guys, thank you guys so much for 800 subscribers. We're on our way to 1,000, so feel free to subscribe. It's completely free. You'll join an amazing community, and it helps me out a lot. Anyway, so getting to the next Resident Evil game that I'm going to talk about in my collection. I have Resident Evil 4 right here. This is my favorite Resident Evil game. Again, I have the Wii version. This is the version I first played. Actually, it's the only version I played. There's not really any required motion controls in this game that I can remember when I first played this. It's been 2 years since I played this on the Wii from start to finish. And it's also, I'm also way more attached to this game because this was one of the first games I had when I first started video game collecting. I had maybe the Wii was my first console that got me back into collecting. Besides I had a Switch, but the Wii was the first console that got me back into collecting. And I had maybe 5 games, and this was one of them. I will always say that this is the best version of Resident Evil 4, and that is because the motion controls, or the gyro aim, or not gyro, the pointer controls work really well with this game's tank controls. And this original game, I think with the remake they changed the controls, and I'm not talking about the remake at all right here. I'm talking about the best version of the original version. But the tank controls and the more unconventional control scheme and layout and feel of the game. When you have an unconventional control scheme and you have an unconventional controller like the Wii remote, I think they go together really well. These next 2 games though, I have not gotten the chance to play yet, just because I'm again busy with all these other games. But these are 2 that I do want to get around to playing, because obviously I love Resident Evil, and horror is just my favorite genre of anything. So first one is Resident Evil Code Veronica. Honestly, I don't even know if this is a good one. I don't know what the community says about this one, but I don't know, it's super cool. And honestly, on the inside, it comes with a Devil May Cry demo CD, which I honestly thought was pretty cool. And it's funny because it says CD, but it's on a DVD disc. Yeah, I thought this was super cool, and it was super cheap, so I picked it up. I do plan on getting around to it eventually. I think it controls I think it's from it's obviously from a third-person control, or a camera, but I don't know if it's set camera angles or if it's just the camera's behind you. But it looks super cool, and it was also just cool because I had a demo disc for a different PlayStation game from back then, and I thought that was kind of cool. The next Resident Evil game that I have, ignore the sticker on it that I got from Goodwill, is Resident Evil 5. This is the other one that I said that I haven't played yet. Again, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm playing Tears of the Kingdom right now. That's taking up all my time. But like this one still looks like a fun time. I think this one's a co-op one, similar to Resident Evil 6, which we'll probably get to next. This one still looks like a good time, still looks scary. I remember I played a little bit of the demo of this on my Switch for some reason. I don't know why I downloaded the demo on my Switch, but I downloaded the demo on my Switch and I played a little bit of it there. But this one still looks like a lot of fun, and I do plan on getting around to it eventually. This next one, besides like a few of the side games, which by the way, actually, you know what, yeah, before we get to this next one, which is Resident Evil 6, I want to talk about one of the side games that just pisses me off. Oh my freaking god, please tell me you guys agree with me. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City is the biggest pile of garbage ever. You know, looking at it, it's a third-person shooter. In like a vacuum, it's not a bad third-person shooter, but it's not a freaking Resident Evil game. It honestly has way more in common with Gears of War than it does Resident Evil, and it's like a squad-based game. And it's just not Resident Evil. It's not scary. It looks nothing like Resident Evil in my opinion. Some of the enemies might look like Resident Evil villains, but nothing about that game screams, oh, this is a Resident Evil game. Because it's not scary. And honestly, it's not even that fun. Okay, back on track with the games that I do have with me. Because I was thinking about bad Resident Evil games. We have Resident Evil 6. This is probably, like, out of the mainline games, the worst received one. And I've only played about 2 hours of it. And I would have to agree, it is just not fun. Honestly, well, okay. It's fun, but it doesn't feel like Resident Evil to me. I do think this is honestly not a bad game. I think I would give it like a 7 out of 10 maybe. I just think that from like a Resident Evil perspective, like a horror game perspective, and what you would expect out of a Resident Evil game, this doesn't hit that mark. But I think overall, if this had a different name, they changed some of the characters, and they gave it like a slightly different story so it didn't have to do anything with Resident Evil, I don't think people would complain as much. Okay, these next three, the final three that I have with me right now, are some of the more recent ones. Let's get started with Resident Evil 2, the remake. I have it on Xbox One here, and I admittedly have not finished this one yet. I'm about 2/3 of the way done with it. I think. I actually don't know how long the game is because I haven't played the original either. This is a fantastic freaking game. This is like one of the prime examples of what a good remake does. And I think people do get confused by the terms remake, remasters, ports, re-releases, all that. And if you want a good video that kind of, in my opinion, explains the difference between those videos well, or those terms well, I would check out Scout the Wads' videos on it. I think he does a good job of explaining the difference between them. Resident Evil 2, this is like the definition of a remake, in my opinion. It takes the original story and it just completely just delves into this world and completely redoes it. This game's great. This game's great. But these next two I have played from start to finish. Again, these are the two most recent ones, besides the remakes. And I have played these ones from start to finish, and I love them both. So let's get started with Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil Biohazard. This is probably, outside of Resident Evil 4, this is probably my favorite Resident Evil game. It's just amazing, and I think what made this game feel even better at the time was that this was coming from Resident Evil 6 to Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 6 being the giant steaming pile of turd that it was. And then we got this. This is an amazing game. Graphically, and again, I'm playing on the Xbox One base model, so maybe I know it probably looked better on other platforms. Graphically, it could have been better. It's not bad graphically, but it kind of just, you know, it just meets the requirements of what a game from this generation needed to be. But God, this game is terrifying. Mac Baker with his giant freaking hammer thing, he's terrifying because you know he could be around the corner at any moment. And the Marguerite section, giant bug house, which that's another reason why I'm super biased towards this game. I have a big passion for animals and especially bugs, and I find bugs to be super freaking cool. And the Marguerite section combined both my passion for bugs and my passion for, like, my love for horror, and it was freaking dope, dude. So I'm a little biased towards that section. I love that section. I loved when like all the bugs started going out of her mouth. I know most people were like grossed out, but I was like, dude, that's so freaking cool. That's what I thought it was cool. Speaking of, final one I had to talk about. This video is kind of a jumbled mess. I just wanted to get something I just wanted to do something today. Resident Evil 8. This is an amazing game. I have the PS5 version here. This is amazing. I don't think it's as good as Resident Evil 7 in my opinion. And I think a lot of people got a little bit disappointed that Lady Dimitrescu, the giant 8-foot tall big booba lady, was only in the first part of the game. But honestly, I don't understand why people expected her to be in the entire game. I know they marketed her in like the trailers a lot, but I don't think Capcom ever intended for that to be the case. I think when they put out the first trailer and they showed Lady Dimitrescu, and everyone was like freaking out over her, I think Capcom saw a good opportunity to advertise the game, and I don't blame them. But they never like made it clear in the trailers that she was going to be in the entire game. I think that's just fans. I think that's just the community's fault for getting excited. Alright, so those are the Resident Evil games that I have in my collection. I just kind of wanted to talk about them, talk about my own opinions towards each of the games that I have. And yeah, let me know down below what your guys' favorite Resident Evil game is. I'd love to know. And yeah, let's go ahead and do it. If you guys are brand new to this channel and you guys like gaming, both old and new, I think I did that right. Feel free to subscribe, hit that like button. It's completely free and it helps me out. We are on the road to 1K. We are so close. Help me hit that goal, guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.